Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in today's video I have a really cute fun fold card like this. Now I'm going to use the Party Puffins. You can find these at my online store or in the annual catalog, the cute little Party Puffins. The card opens up and it looks like that on the inside, which is really fun. And really you could use any stamp set with a card like this. In fact, we're making the same thing at Club this month, and we're going to use that sweet peach bundle that recently retired, and look how cute this card looks using a totally different stamp set or bundle, totally different color scheme, but you could do this with, like I said, almost any stamp set. Look how cute that is. Okay, so let me show you how I made this card. I'm going to start with all my stamping first, and I did do all the die cutting ahead, but I'll show you the die cuts and the designer series paper and everything I used, and you can also find the measurements and a supply list on my blog becreativewithkathy.com. So the things we're going to stamp on are basic white cardstock. This is from, of course, my favorite, everybody's favorite, the Contour scalloped contour dies. Terrible with names. I believe it's the second to largest one, which is probably one I use the most. But we're gonna use that. We're gonna stamp on that. And then I have 4 little squares here. These are 2 1/8 inches. Now, the reason I picked 2 1/8 is because I used those new stylish shape dies. I love these thingies, and I cut this square here. It's the second largest square, and so of course those layer onto here nicely, and I have 4 of those that I've already cut too, just so you know. Okay, so let's get on to our stamping. I'm only gonna stamp with black Memento ink, and like I said, if you saw up here, up there, or whatever, there's a row of stamps. We're gonna use all of them, almost every stamp in the stamp set. But I'm going to start with this big puffin with the hat. I'm going to ink him up really good. I need to grab a piece of scratch paper because I'm probably going to practice a lot today. So here's one that's pretty beat up, but we'll just make sure my black Memento ink is pretty happy. That's what I call when they have lots of ink on them. So we should do okay getting a nice solid image on all my little puffins, because I've prepared my ink pad. A happy ink pad means happy stamping. Okay, so we're just going to take him right here in the center and just lay him down. I'm not applying a lot of pressure, but I'm going to let him sit there and let that ink sink into the paper. Nice solid black image. Let's see how I did. Not bad. Not as nice as I'd like it. Not even as nice as my last one, but good enough for me. And then down here, I want to stamp that to someone who makes others so happy. Because with a card like this, you need a lot of like word stamps. So I'm going to start with this one on the front. Try to get it straight down there. Again, I'm going to set it down, let that ink sink in. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, let that ink dry a little bit. Now we're going to work on these little squares here. Now I'm going to open up my card because I'm going to do it the same just for point of reference here so I can see hopefully about the same. So I'm going to start with up here the Make-A-Wish. And you know, instead I'm going to start with the cake because I'm going to stamp the cake, and hopefully I won't stamp on my work surface here, but I'll be all right. I'm going to stamp the cake as low as I can to the bottom of the paper, trying not to miss, but then that gives me room for that Make-A-Wish right above. Oop, there. Oh, that's pretty good. I'll take that one. And then of course that Make-A-Wish, we're going to stamp that up above. Try not to get my head in the camera. There again, I didn't practice. I'm going to let that ink sink in. Oh, still looks really good. Okay, now the next one, we just want the Party Puffin, or at least that's what I call him. To me, he kind of looks like he's doing a little party dance there. But we're going to ink him up really well with that black Memento, and then just stamp him to where his feet look normal. I'm going to kind of look at the feet like he's kind of dancing maybe a little bit, and set him down, let that ink sink in, and get that nice dark black image on there. Let's see how, oh yeah, much better. Okay. Then the next one, we want to do that happy birthday. Now this is really fussy trying to get him to fit and the happy birthday to fit on there. So I'm going to take this little bird here, ink him up like I said really well. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to stamp him as close to the corner as I can. Get his little feet down there at the very bottom. Let that ink sink in again so I can get that dark image. Oh, nice. And look how low I got his feet. Yay, Kathy. Okay, then we're going to just take that happy birthday and I'm going to like layer it above his head. I'm trying to try to get it all in there. Let's see how I do. Be a little bit. Oh, it's going to look nice. Look at this. I'm really happy with this one. I'm going to let that ink sink into the paper again, get a nice dark image. But look how good that looks. Nice stamping. Today must be a stamping day. Okay, and then last, but of course not least, this is the one that I would write, you know, happy birthday or love you, Kathy, or something like that on. So I'm going to just put a little tiny fish at the bottom, and that gives me a place to write on my card. So just down here to bottom, a little fish. Now, I don't know if you watch my videos, but if you do, you know that I love my brother's Scan and Cut. And when I first got this stamp set, I just stamped a bunch of little fish on a basic white cardstock scrap, and I cut them out with my brother's Scan and Cut. So I have oodles and doodles of little fish here, and I'm going to use one of him. One of those, not one of him. One of those little fish in my project too. So now we need to color these. I'm going to bring this guy back in, and I'm going to start, well, let me show you first too. I get ahead of myself. So I used this designer series paper. In fact, that's what I was doing at the beginning of the video. I was trying to find the package so I could tell you the name of it. It's that Sweet Talk. Believe it or not, it's like the Valentine paper that is in the mini catalog right now. That I believe is still available. Last time I checked the list, you could still get it, but only till the end of June. But it has all these vibrant and fun colors. So I got all my Stamp and Write markers. Now, not my blends. These are the Stamp and Write markers because we just have a little bit of area to color. So I thought the Stamp and Write markers might stay in the lines too. And everybody's always talking about the Stampin' Blends, but I don't want you to forget that Stampin' Write markers are a great tool too. And then because Puffin's feet are orange, I'm going to bring in some pumpkin pie and a crushed curry. This is, so you know, Pool Party, Real Red, So Saffron, Blushing Bride, Highland Heather, Petal Pink, and Granny Apple Green. Yay, I passed my color test for today. But I'm going to start with this pumpkin pie here, and I'm going to just color all of my little Puffin's feet here. And I'll try not, I'm not going to worry about perfection. I'm going to just get it done quickly so you don't have to sit and watch me color a bunch of little puffin feet. Let me tell you what's going on with Stampin' Up! As I'm coloring. If I can do two things at once, I'm going to try. Right now, Stampin' Up! Has a promotion for the month of June that their kits, all of their kit collection. So when you go onto my online store or even just stampinup.com, you just click on the kits collection. All of them are buy one and you get the second one at half price. And I think their thought behind that is if you have a friend that you want to get together with, you guys could do the kits together at a little bit of a discount. And they have great kits on there. They have card kits that have all kinds of different occasions. They have a journal kit that just came out that's really cute. They have a the 12 by 12 magnet board. I almost could color and talk at the same time, but there's a lot of nice kits on there. So if you're interested in something like that, you might just check out Stampin' Up's kit collection. Then I'm going to take the crushed curry. That was perfect timing too. I did all my little feet. Now I'm going to come back and do that inside, I guess you'd call it, of his nose with just a little crushed curry. And you notice I'm using the brush tip of my marker and I'm being very, very gentle. So not applying a lot of pressure at all. I don't want to break the tip or smush, I guess is another word you could say for the tip. I want to keep it nice and pointy, if you can see. It's like a paintbrush, but it's got a really nice tip that I don't want to mess up. Okay, I think that's all my little puffins. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Now we'll set that aside. I'm going to bring in that Pool Party. And first of all, I'm going to color both of my fish. My fish are going to be that light teal pool party kind of color. Let me see if I can get this one. Little tiny fish. Okay, one more. And then I am going to color also the plate here. So you know, I guess I do my videos live here on Facebook. If I didn't do them live, I would edit everything out and you guys wouldn't hear anything. But then I post them onto YouTube. So at least if you're on YouTube, you can fast forward through all this boring stuff if you think coloring is boring. But I went ahead and did the candles too. And on Facebook, I'm sorry, but you have to sit through it and watch. Okay, so then on the frosting, we're going to have, no, I'm going to do the frosting in the purple that matches the card base. I'm going to just do a little bit of pink cake here. My grandmother used to always make us pink cake. Every time you had a birthday, you looked forward to Grandma's pink cake. I believe it was strawberry. All I remember is that it was pink. And the only time I ever saw a pink cake was on my birthday when Grandma was coming over. Okay, I'm not going to use the So Saffron, and I'm not going to use the real red this time. I am going to use the Highland Heather. And there again, oops, on my pink cake, I'm going to have purple frosting. Oh, and I lied. I am going to use a So Saffron on my flames of my cake here. I forgot about that. I'll bring it back in. But I have a little purple here on my cake. And I'm going to put a little bit of purple here on both of my little fish bows. There we go. And then I forgot, so what would I want to put the, oh, I need the colored hat. That's what I was thinking. I'm going to bring that teal back in real quick. And I'm going to just color the hat here. I almost forgot about this puffin. And then that Highland Heather back, because we need to color his little pom-pom and the little polka dots. There we go. And so saffron for my cake. And I think, don't lose my little fish here, I think that's everything. So sorry, Petal Pink and Granny Apple Green, you didn't make the cut. All right, so now we have all of our pieces here cut. And that designer series paper, I have 3 pieces here. These are all 5 1/4 by 4 inches, but like I said, the measurements will be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. And now you can see on this card, I actually did use this side of this designer series paper. I'm not quite sure I like it. So this card, I'm going to go ahead and use all 3 of the striped, and then we can compare and see which one we like better. So I have a piece of grape. What's a gorgeous grape cardstock here? It's a half a sheet, so it's 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then I just scored it at 5 1/2. So I have my card base there, which is a top fold. And then I have another piece here. Now this is 1 3/4 inches by 11. And now I've scored this at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. However, you don't even have to remember those dimensions, because what it is the 5 1/2 is really scored in half of the cardstock, like that. And then the 2 3/4 just is back, exactly back, so it's in the center. And the same with the 8 1/4. It's just the center here. And try to get those straight. There we go. So then you have a W that looks like that, or an M. I guess that would be an M. And that's going to be our mechanism. But real quick, let's get our designer series paper on our card here. And I'm going to just use some Stampin' Seal on the back here. And lay that piece right there. There we go. And then on the inside, lay it here on the top, just centered nicely here. Try to get it straight, and then on the bottom, oh, and it just dawned on me, I didn't use my glue yet today. I've been making a bunch of swaps for my team swap, and then I'm in another demonstrator swap, so I've been making stamping a bunch this morning, but I haven't used my glue yet. So let's see how my glue is going to be, because now for the next step, we need a really strong adhesive. Let me find a piece of scratch paper. I just had, oh, here we go. And I'm going to just get my glue going here a little bit. Usually I do, oh, there we go. Usually I do that before the video, and sometimes that's not true either, but that way now my glue is ready. So I'm going to take this tab here. Now you see how it's folded down, right? So just on this place here, I'm going to put some liquid glue. Remember, a little bit of liquid glue goes a long way. So I'm going to try to cover it, but I'm going to make sure it's not enough to gush out, if that's a term. I think it is though. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to place this at the top or the bottom. Right now, let's see, this would be the bottom of the inside, and I'm going to center it, and it's going to be flush with the bottom, just like that. Does it look pretty? Oops, not straight now. It looks pretty centered though. Does it look okay? Yeah, not bad. We'll put it like that. And then I'm going to put this other side. See, it's all folded down now. Now I'm going to add glue to this tab. Because my card might not open all the way, but I want to make sure that it folds nicely to put it into the envelope and such. So I'm going to take that. Now there's glue all over there, and then I'm going to just close my card. So it looks like that. Now, I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a little extra that sticks out the bottom here. I'm going to just take my paper snips and get rid of that. I don't want that to show on the front of my card. So must have been my scoring was off a tad today. It happens. Maybe my cardstock was a little long, I don't know. But there you go. So now I have that piece that's in the center piece. Okay, so with just a few dimensionals, I'm going to put that front piece on to my card. Stuck on there good. Oh, there we go. I had another one on there. Wait, okay. And then put this onto the front of my card. Just like that. We're going to take these little squares and those squares that I cut with that die set and just layer them. Let me put my little fish up here so I don't lose him. We'll need him later. But that 2 1/8 inch, look how nice it layers onto that. Can you see the stitching on the squares? There you go. And that 2 1/8 fits perfect in there. And like I said, that was the second to largest square. Take my little puffin here. Happy little guy, this one with the happy birthday. Go and then last that little cake. Now it looks like we're all set. So to put my pieces in here, you can open your card all the way. Sometimes it won't lay flat. I don't know if you can see it now, but at least I can get it flat enough to lay my piece on here. So this one, I don't have to worry about where I put my tape because it's going to be flat on my card. But I'm going to lay it right here, try to get it centered. Yeah, it looks good about like that. I don't know if it's perfect. I really don't want it to be perfect, to be honest with you. And then I'm going to put my little dancing puffin. Now, because this, I don't want any glue on this part, I only want adhesive here. I'm going to just put it down the center. And no one's really going to be trying to pull these off, I don't think. So I'm not going to worry about heavy adhesive or overdoing it, I'm going to just put a little bit there and then center him, and trying to line up so it goes straight this way all the way down like that. And then our other puffin right here. Oh, I probably put it too far to the side. Boy, was I not thinking, no, maybe it'll be okay. Oh no, look, it's gonna be fine. Phew, that was close. Wanted to keep the glue on the inside, but even now I can feel that there's no glue where I don't want it, or the tape runner. Same thing, glue. Okay, there we go. And then last but not least, with my little fish down here, it can go all over because it's gonna go flat on the card. And layer this one right down here. Like that, and now they're all lined up. Now, no one likes to come to the party empty-handed, so I'm gonna take a glue dot with my little fish here. I'm gonna use my take-a-pick tool to pluck him off of there with that little glue dot, and then put him right here in my little penguin's hands. Yep, so it looks like that. And now my little puffin is bringing a little fish to the birthday party. Now, when I finished my card, I looked at it and I thought it needs something. I tried putting some embellishments or gems or rhinestones. None of them seemed to fit. So then I decided to use my Wink of Stella, and this little bit of shimmer that the Wink of Stella gives it made it like a finished card. And it had that little pop of wow, but I just took a little bit of Wink of Stella on the pom-pom and on these polka dots here. Just a little bit of Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see that on there, but trust me, it has that little shimmer now. I did put it on the tips of my candles here, on my frosting. And then just a little bit on those bows of my fish. And that little bit of sparkle, look what I did down here. Don't do that. I wasn't even paying attention. Did you guys catch it when I was putting it on there? No, Kathy, don't do it that way. Let me put some more adhesive on here just in case, because now I want my fish straight. I don't want him swimming upshore. Okay, here we go. We'll put him down here so he's straight. I didn't even pay attention. Thank goodness I went back to put that Wink of Stella on there so now I could fix my fish. Okay, a little bit on his bow with my fish going the right way now. There we go. Now my card is finished. It still has that little pop of wow. It's really thick, so really the embellishments would have just made it thicker and maybe overkill. I don't know. But there's my card for today with all those little pieces and parts. It has a little bit of wow when you open it up, but yet it is still fit in an envelope. Now, a card like this is thick, so I always just take a non-machinable stamp, which is a butterfly. It costs a little bit more, but then it doesn't ruin my cards in the mail. So there you go. There's my card. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here Friday with another card. Have a great day. Bye-bye.